IAAPA is always a fun time if you're into the whole theme park industry because this is where all the major manufacturers release their new concepts to the market. Intamin Amusement Rides, as always, is pushing the boundaries, trying out new concepts, maybe taking on an already existing concept and compounding on it. But yeah, this year they have released a couple new concepts that really caught my attention. Before we get to these concepts, please do me a favor, click on that like button, and new to my channel, subscribe so you can stay up to date with my latest projects. Also, you can follow me over on Instagram. I post daily photos and reels for your enjoyment. Okay, so the first concept has to be their new vertical LSM launch roller coaster. It's not a new concept per se. Zero used a vertical launch on Wicked over at Lagoon Park, but I would argue with Intamin taking this concept and running with it, we actually might see more roller coasters utilize this vertical launch. Now, being a vertical launch and all kind of makes this concept a gimmick because it's not like the rest of the layout is incapable of being completed on a more traditional LSM launch coaster. I'm sure the vertical launch would work great with roller coasters themed to space travel, rockets, missiles, etc. You kind of get the picture. Right now, it looks like the vertical launch is taking as a rolling launch, meaning that the train is already in forward motion before hitting the vertical LSMs. I wonder if it would be possible to pause the train in a vertical position and launch it from there. That would give you that whole sensation like taking off like a rocket. Now, as for the layout, I noticed that Intamin is really taking a lot of inspiration from other manufacturers and also coming up with some new elements of their own. These unique elements would include a twisted vertical drop, basically like a mix of the twisted drop on Top Thrill Dragster, but starting it off with an inversion. It looks like this element will give riders some laterals, airtime, and then near the end of the maneuver, positive G-forces. Next is that reversed Immelmann. It's like a typical Immelmann, but when you exit the maneuver, the coaster enters into an outer bank turn of sorts. This looks super cool and I can't wait to try it out. By far my most anticipated new element by Intamin. Well, besides the launch. Finally, the weightlessness stall loop is also another pretty weird element. It's like a zero-G stall in a dive loop all mixed into one. I think we saw an element similar to this on Phoenix, or Phonics, however you pronounce it, at Fair Up Summerlin. Yeah, I'm sorry, I totally botched that, but yeah, I know I pronounced that wrong. This roller coaster has a lot of great variety, including airtime, positive forces, weird maneuvers, hang time. I know this concept, including the whole layout, is just a rendering, kind of like a starting point, and most likely the first coaster that opts for this type of ride will mix it up a bit. But yeah, even if we take a couple of these elements, their coaster is going to be amazing. Now, do I think this concept will take off? Maybe. Like, I think we will see a couple of these types hit the market, but if anything, I feel like the LSM launch will be used as a complement with their more traditional horizontal launch coasters. Basically, multi-launching roller coasters using different launches throughout the ride. Maybe have a swing launch followed by a vertical launch, who knows. If there is one thing I take away from this vertical launch concept, Intamin is the leader of LSM launching coasters, and for good reason. Just look at a couple of their recent projects like Velocicoaster and Pantheon. These two roller coasters became instant hits with the GP and coaster community alike. So for our next concept, which was announced a couple weeks back, is a launching log flume ride. This, similar to the vertical launch, is a gimmick concept. The whole layout of the ride isn't changing except for that one launch. Now, I do like it how we're able to create a splashdown without a big drop. That will take some riders by surprise. SeaWorld San Antonio will be building their first launching log flume set to open in 2023 called Catapult Falls. As a fan of log flumes, I am happy to see a manufacturer still willing to work with this concept, especially after having a rocky relaunch of this type of ride back in the early 10s. Depending on how reliable Catapult Falls is, will be the deciding factor if more parks are willing to take on this attraction at their home parks. I really hope it's not a one-and-done ride because, as I just said, I love log flumes. Many parks have been removing their log flumes instead of building new ones. Well, that's gonna do it for today's video. Of these two concepts, which one do you like best? Both look like fun attractions. Obviously, the vertical launch is more for us adrenaline junkies, as the log flume is more of a family affair. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, please click on the like button and make sure you are subscribed. That way you won't miss out on more great content coming your way by Extreme Thrills.